Good day, YouTube. It is the 5th of November 2023. We're in the red tracker this morning. It's a happy daylight savings time. It is 6:46 in the morning, and we are out to the barn to get the trailer this morning. We are going to go get a John Deere zero-turn mower, a small residential kind of style. Guy put it out on Marketplace for free. The thing it's in Redmond, Oregon, and I'm in Albany, Oregon, and so it's a bit of a drive over San Juan Pass, but it's not that cold out, so I don't expect we'll get any snow, which actually doesn't bother me at all anyway. But we're going to go get this John Deere zero-turn. Alright, I'll bring you back when there's something more to show you, but I'm going to get this trailer hooked up and get on the road. Alright guys, we've made it to Redmond and we are back to Sisters, Oregon. We got the John Deere on the trailer. It actually looks pretty good shape. The story actually keeps getting better with this, and I'll fill you in once we get back. So, yeah. Obviously it doesn't run. Obviously a free mower doesn't run. But I don't think it's too far away from running. Man, I didn't do a very good job of checking things. Make sure that air filter assembly will still be here when I get home. I better take that off. Filter off. These covers are like gold. It's attached well enough, it ain't going anywhere. Okay, so let's get this thing home and I'll fill you in on the rest of the story. And just like that, we are back at the shop. I haven't even unlocked the door to the barn yet, but I have the machine on the battery charger and just a couple of things cleaned up, because one, it's certainly easier to move these around when they run. Two, I'm super curious to know what's going on. Let's take a minute and sniff the old fuel tank, because I don't know how long this has been sitting either. It's got some age to it. I think we'd be good to change the fuel, but it's not horrible. It's not horrible. I bet it's a year old. So I can't tell you all of the story yet. In the second episode I will. What I can tell you has happened is the guy said he was mowing with this and it just quit. So when he advertised it his motor is blown. When I talked to him yesterday, he said, yeah, it blew a rod. And I asked if it knocked a hole in the block. He goes, oh no, not a connecting rod. It blew a push rod. I went, oh, that's cool. That's a $12 part. And I have a couple of these engines on the shelf. So it has a bent push rod, not a blowed connecting rod. That's pretty cool. So I'm gonna grab a 10mm. We're gonna pull that valve cover off, see what we got. Look closely at that configuration. Let's run in the shed, look on the shelf, because I've got a couple. That's like a 19 horse. I got a couple 21s I believe are the same. Kick a light on. Yeah, I'm sure they're the same. I'm pretty sure they're the same. How's that? And there's two of them. Okay. All right, let me grab a 10mm. valves are super loose. That push rod's potentially a bit too hard to get it out. Oh, the cap is gone too. Darn. It's got a little tappet cover that's missing. Oh, no, it's not. It's right here. Woo, you gotta watch for those. Glad that was there. My guess is it was in desperate need of a valve adjustment, and it slipped off, and bad things happened. All right, but right now that push rod is stuck way in there. I can't even get a hold of it with my fingers, so let me grab a needle nose. I can actually tell you that both push rods are bent. One severely, and this one is pretty bent. I'm gonna see if I can take the rocker studs off. We're gonna have to get them all apart. Take the rockers off, then the studs off. They're too tight to get them with a wrench. All right, see if we can get the rocker arms off, so we can get the rocker studs off. The keeper Torx screw in this one was fairly loose. This one is super tight. I'm concerned about breaking the Torx bit off in it. I'm going to use impact. It broke. Dang. I think it broke clean though. Well, phooey. Phooey, phooey. Combination of maybe again, I'm trying to take the whole stud off. I just broke a tool off, but it fell out. That's good. Ooh. Hey, stud's coming. That's good. I do have somebody coming to buy a rototiller today. Possibly any minute. I'll shut you down if they show up. What we're trying to do is get that plate out of there. So we can get the push rods out of there. Those two engines I have on the shelf, I have no knowledge of what's up with them, but I had a third one, and it had a bad compression release. I replaced the cam, did a video on it. These rockers got no wear on them at all. At all. All right, let me get a deep 10 socket. We'll get that other stud out of there. We get that plate out of there. Hopefully we get the push rods out without having to pull the head. All right, deep 10. There's the plate. One bent push rod, it's aluminum. If I remember right, the other is a steel rod. Will it come out? Ooh, yeah. Whoa. I don't think it's bent, but I think it fell off its tappet because it was way in there. What's up with you, buddy? There it is. It just fell off the tappet. Tappets are in place, boys and girls. I need... This is steel. This is aluminum. I need the aluminum one. We're gonna go steal it out of that other engine. Just about straighten it. We're not going to, but we could. Okay. You know, I actually have a dial indicator for checking these. But I also have a good eye. There's nothing wrong with that one. All right. Let's go steal one, shall we? Eeny meeny, which one should we take it from? The dirty one. Good choice. How much oil this is going to leak on my floor. Been sitting here forever. Uh-oh. Let me check. Might have a sale here. False alarm. For the car door. So I wonder if it's just bad adjustment on the valves that caused the push rod issues. I don't know. These look exactly the same to me. Okay, we need the aluminum one on the bottom. Maybe this one will spin away. Ooh, jam nut. Didn't hold it. Remember these little caps. There we go. Expertly extracted. Let's go put it back together. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. You got to put them in by braille, but you can feel when it's right and when it's not right. Don't get in a hurry. Look at that. It's marked top. That's nice of them to mark it top. I need to take this in and get that jam nut loose. No sense putting it on and fighting it on the machine. Alright, I'll bring you back when I got this a little more put back together. Alright, I kind of got it reassembled. I do have it reassembled. And we're going to set the valves real quick. We'll do the exhaust at 8 thousandths, the intake at 5. I haven't looked it up in the book, so don't quote me on that, but that usually gets the job done. We'll get back into this thing. We'll glue or seal the valve cover back on because it's not looking good at the moment. Things like that, but we want to see if this thing runs, see if it's viable, see if I need to order anything, that kind of thing. We can fine tune it later, but I need to drive it so I can get it off the trailer and such. So there's that. So let me get a 5 thou. Where are my little ones at? Oh, here they are. 6, 5. 5 and an 8. Okay. They're thin little boys. The exhaust is greater because the exhaust side runs hotter and it expands more. So you got that. Now, we need to rotate the engine. I'm not going to give you an in-depth on setting the valves, but you want one valve to be open, then you can set the other. And then open that valve and set the one that you didn't set earlier. I'm going to see if I can spin the crank from under here, if I can access it. That's the clutch. Darn. Let me try it from up top. Oh boy, this is not a good sign here. Not a good sign. Probably should have made sure this engine turned over before we started all this foolishness. Because we don't know. We don't know. Doesn't feel real good. Okay, I've got activity on the exhaust valve, so let's set the intake. Not feeling real good, guys. But again, we don't know what's wrong with it. It just quit on the guy, so. There's the spark plug that was in it. Not sure that's correct or not, but we'll double check it before we put it back. Okay. That's 5 thousandths. You can use 1/4 inch wrench and a where'd my wrench go? There it is. I'm going to hold the wrench while we run the jam screw in there. everything back if I can find it. Okay. Now then, we'll open up the other valve. Okay, and we'll set this one. It potentially feels a little better. Don't know though. We don't know what we got. Eight thou. Yep. Should just do them by feel. Again, we'll fine tune this soon. Fine tune it later. There we go. Okay, I'm going to do quick research on the correct plug for this. It's just something I always do. I have gotten many a machine that, you know, you go to the parts store and you put in what they sell you and it probably runs. Is it right? Don't know. I question this plug, but I question all plugs. So I'll get back to you when I have the right plug in it. We'll stick the valve cover back on, slide that cover over, and we'll go from there. Oh guys, just check the oil on the stick, and there wasn't any on the stick. So I'm putting quite a bit of oil in it. Could be too little too late. Haven't checked spark plug correctness yet. But again, we got spare engines. There we go. Let's keep going. Keep going. Well guys, I'm not sure if this engine's entirely happy, but there's only one way to know if it's going to be any good. I looked up the correct Champion spark plug for this. It had an NGK in it. I love NGK plugs, but I had a Champion I knew was correct, so I put that in. I'll research if the one that was in it was the right one or not. For now, doesn't matter. I stock plugs for Briggs, and I had like, you know, 10 of these plugs and like one of the one that came out. So I don't think it was correct. It might be, but you never know. Okay, I'm not really familiar with this machine, how to get it turned over, but I'm about to find out. Still tied down in the front, so it's not going anywhere. I'm guessing those got to be like that. Seat switch. Okay. Yeah. This is deck, I assume. Brake, I assume. See if this has a start mode on this. It does. Got a 50 amp start mode. We'll go in and get the big dog if we have to. Not much crankage in that battery, but at least it cranks. All right, let me go get a bigger charger. All right, we're in 225 amp start mode. It might spin that whole tractor round and round on the trailer here in a second, but it did spin over. It didn't feel like the starter was dragging so hard because the engine was hard to spin. It just felt like a low battery situation to me, which is good for a no oil situation. It was push rods that shut it down. I don't think it was a crankshaft. Here we go. Give it a little assistance, shall we? Alright, not much left in this can. It's a gusher. Like stinky fuel. Better run. Oh. It's coming out of the vent. That's not good. It's fuel out of the vent. Whoop. Let's let it run. See what the hell. I ain't scared. Let's go. So it's stinky fuel coming out of the crankcase vent. Let's just let it get it out of its system. Cool. I'm going to take the vacuum line off the fuel pump and see if we have a bad fuel pump. Hey, the engine's running good. I don't care. I mean, we got little stuff to deal with now. But that fuel pump operated by engine vacuum, if that diaphragm goes bad enough in there, it could have put fuel. I mean, the engine could just be sucking fuel in through the fuel pump. It's just one thing to check, so I'll pull the vacuum line off of it and see what's in it. All right, took the vacuum line off. A little liquid did come out of the vacuum line. This is about gone. See what happens. All right, I stuck a used fuel pump on it. It's one I had on the shelf, so it's one I replaced under maintenance, so I know it's used to work anyway. All right, let me fiddle. All right, so I got the little pump in the tank. We're gonna get it sucked out. I pulled the drain plug, and it certainly was just all gas, so it's blowed the oil and whatever out of there. So I'm going to order a carburetor and a new fuel pump and such for this, get those coming, which should solve all of its woes and do the whole, you'll replace gas line if needs to be and all that jazz. So guess we'll be back in a couple days. I could just probably leave this on the trailer for now, and but I'm pretty stoked because it does run. It seemed to run fine, so it just has fuel issues at the moment, which we're about to deal with. So all right guys, catch you, well, for you about 5 seconds, for me a couple days. All right guys, it's the next day. It's a raining son of a gun out there today, and I have pulled the zero turn in the shop. We shoved the mystery machine forward so we get a little room back here, place in the dry to work a little. And I did a little looking last night and remembered I have a carburetor for this. It's got 5 minutes on it. That engine that we took the push rod out of, I had 3 of those. One of them I fixed. It just needed a compression release, so we changed the cam in it. And I bought this carburetor to make that engine run so I could sell it, and I did. So this carburetor fired an engine up and ran it for 30 minutes, and that's that. So I'll use that carburetor. It is the same, and we'll put on this machine, and we'll get some oil in it, and we'll run it. So I've pulled the air cleaner pipe manifold off of it, sitting there, and now we are got an 8mm socket deep to get these carburetor studs out. Probably hand tight now, or not. The choke linkage is not here, but it was in a pile of fasteners, so I do have it to put back. Hopefully everything is in place for that choke linkage. It just slides in, should be easy. So someone was chasing a problem, no doubt, or didn't know how to put the linkage in, or something. We'll figure it out. We'll probably open this carburetor. I know that it's been replaced. He said it had. Wow. Difficult to spin. There we go. So the bottom of this carburetor is warm. I realized the switch is on and the solenoid is drawn in. I left the key on. Little clue. It's probably why it was dead this morning. Gasket. Unplug that solenoid. Carefully take the spring off. Might be easier with the needle nose. Okay. There's the carburetor. Let me get the new one ready. Alright, so I did have that choke linkage piece. Thank goodness for that. It doesn't look to be damaged. Thank goodness for that too. See if we can get us all back together. I had this piece of fuel line on this carburetor when I was running it, just filling up the fuel line. And this is the replacement to go from the carb to the pump. Just need to put a clamp on it. So let's use it. We're gonna put a filter in here somewhere because there's not one currently. Okay. Let's plug in the solenoid while I can still see it. Okay. Ooh, it's still on. Better. Spring is on. Choke linkage. There. Come on. Come on. It's always a fight. You guys are stuck with my fight there. Alright, I won't make you listen to me. Alright guys, I went and finished putting it on without you. I need to go out to the engine shed and get some oil and a fuel filter. We're going to put the old fuel pump back on, so I need to get the engine cover because the fuel pump is attached to that. I do want to put the old pump back on and go from there. I'll be back. All right, kind of got things back together. Put that new fuel line in from the pump to the carburetor, put a filter in line with that. I have the cowl just sitting there. I put half a gallon of non-ethanol fuel in it. I filled up the oil. I put straight 30 weight in it. There's probably going to be some fuel still in that engine, so I put a new fuel filter on it. If this thing runs good, we'll warm it up a couple times. I'll probably change the oil again. See how that works. I think we're ready to start it. We'll see if this battery came up. I put it on the charger this morning, and my smart charger says it's 100%, but that doesn't mean it's any good, right? Alright. Let me give it some help so we can pump fuel. Okay, here we go. Okay, buddy, run. Maybe a little blow a little air in there, get it primed. All right, I grabbed an old towel. You want safety glasses for this. It's a little dangerous. You're pumping air into a tank that can expand, because it can put fuel back in your face. But we'll be careful here. Looking at my filter, I don't see anything yet. We'll crank at the same time here. Okay, let me fiddle with this. Okay, so I got the tank scooched over, had to undo a bolt there and a plate here, and I got the pickup tube fitting out of the tank, needs to be replaced. The tube itself, every time I tried to grab it with my little spring grabber, chiclets, not good. So I actually have a little mess in the bottom of the tank. We're gonna have to drain it back out. In the meantime, I've cut a tube short of the bottom of the tank so I don't suck any of that mess up. So we could put this back together today. Put it back in. At least temporarily. and make it go, hopefully. Okay, I'm just gonna move a few things. Yep. And then we're gonna try this again, see if we can pick up some fuel. I guarantee it's got a lot better chance of doing it now than it did. Man, you just never know about these things, do you? Things just fall apart all on their own. All right. That pickup tube's just barely in about an inch of fuel. Okay, just see if it'll do it. Give it a little help. It'll save that battery, which isn't much count. Am I even right in front of you? How about you stand over here? How will that be? Ignition switch got to be on the list. How are we on the fuel? Where is my flashlight? Here. Dry like a bone. Okay, now we'll try the air thing then. We stand a little better chance. Still submerged. Seems like it's going to be a minute. I'll be a minute. I lied. There's fuel in the filter now. All right, let's crank and give it a little help at the same time. Turn switch to normal position. See how she restarts. not too good. Wonder why. Choke. Try again. Choke. Wonder if we're hit and miss on fuel. Like I say, that pickup tube is barely there. It's half-inch under gas. I think we just need to run it a bit. And you know, kind of finish it up a little bit, get a better battery in it and all that stuff. Well, it's running. I don't know that the guy that sold it thought this would ever run again or not, but it's running. It runs fine. It sounds fine. We need to do a lot more work to it. I need to kind of load the parts cannon. Get a battery, ignition switch. I need to sort through the nuts and bolts and stuff that came with it. That's pretty boring stuff. I'll do that. And then we're gonna fix this thing up. So I need to get that fuel pickup tube ordered today. Get a bunch of that stuff. So I think we're gonna close out this video here. You're gonna come back and we're gonna fix this thing up and make it my machine. If you've seen my channel before, you know I've been mowing with two different snapper rear engine riders. This last one for, I think this is 4 years. The one before that, 4 or 5 years before that. I love the machines. They're maneuverable, they're small, light, easy to whatever. But this thing is growing on me, so I haven't mowed with this yet. Maybe in a few days we get all these parts, we can mow with it, see how I like it. If I like it, I might say goodbye to my snapper. I do have this bodywork that goes on the rear here. Obviously I have the rear bagger and all that stuff, so I think it's time just to start assembling what I can while I'm waiting for other parts, and I think we'll be good to go. So guys, thanks for watching the video. Appreciate the comments. Comment today. I'll catch you in the morning as I review all comments and respond to every one of them the following day. And thumbs up on the way out the door if you wouldn't mind. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, do that. We got all kinds of stuff planned, and hey, I'm retired now, so I get to work on what I want to work on, and that's what we work on around here. Catch you guys on the next video.